I refused to host my husband's friend because he complains about everything.
I don't want a little whiner at my table.
So, my husband has this friend, we'll call him Craig. The first time we invited Craig over for a holiday was Thanksgiving a few years ago. He said he wanted to wash his hands before dinner, but he didn't use the bathroom. Instead, he went to the kitchen and proceeded to complain about how the sink was full of dishes and why hadn't I cleaned them yet, despite the fact that I had made an entire Thanksgiving meal. Automatically throwing this guy into the pit
Yeah.
for saying, you cooked Thanksgiving dinner and you didn't do the dishes yet?
Yeah. That's a pit for me.
While washing his hands before dinner.
That's crazy.
My husband said he was probably joking, and I shouldn't have taken it so personally. For Easter, my husband invited him again, and Craig offered to bring a pie. I told him that I was already planning on making 2 desserts, carrot cake and cheesecake stuffed strawberries. That sounds awesome. And since my husband and I were trying to lose weight, I really didn't want an extra dessert floating around. So he offered to bring rolls instead. I joked that if he didn't bring King Hawaiian sweet rolls, he wouldn't be allowed inside.
So valid.
Honestly,
Those are the rolls to have.
entirely correct. What other rolls would you buy? This is a King's Hawaiian
Unless you like
podcast.
home make them, then I'll allow it, I guess. I don't think they'll taste as good as the King Hawaiian rolls, but I'll appreciate the effort and love that you put into it.
You gotta put that King Hawaiian roll in it, though.
Just have a little bit of those on the side.
So, on Easter, I told him dinner would be served at 5. 5 o'clock came and no Craig. 5:30, still no Craig, but we decide to eat. 6 o'clock, no Craig, and we move on to dessert. 6:30, we finished eating and decided to relax in the living room. 7 o'clock, Craig finally shows up with his girlfriend, and I see he brought King Hawaiian butter roll. Not the sweet rolls. Get out of here.
Come on.
Classic 7 o'clock Craig showing up with the wrong bread.
You're so close. Got the right brand, wrong type.
He's like, I'm late. I went to every store looking for the Hawaiian bread.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from user Agent Sparkles88, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't freaking know all the stuff, dude. We just know the things we know. And if you know things we don't know, tell us in the comments, you little goober. And OP says, at this point, I didn't really care since I already ate dinner without a roll, but what really got me was he brought the pie. So Craig goes to wash his hands and can't help but make a comment about the dishes in my sink. He then complains that my food is nowhere as good as his girlfriend's. Probably had something to do with the fact that the food was now cold. When he was ready to leave, I told him, don't forget your pie. He mentioned that he didn't like sweets and we could keep it. Now, Thanksgiving is coming again, and my husband wants to invite him. I said, fine, but I'm not dealing with his BS this time. The first condescending comment he makes is that he can walk straight out, and if I have to slam the pie in his face to get him to take it, then I will. You still have that pie? You've got the same Easter pie. It's just been sitting around.
It's just all like dried and crusty, and it'll just crumble if you throw the pie at
Give him a
someone's face.
concussion.
Yeah.
Solid brick pie.
It's a rock at that point.
Yeah.
My husband is telling me that I'm taking everything out of context, but I think showing up 2 hours late and being rude to the host is pretty clear. Am I the a-hole? And there are some comments. I will say it is crazy that he showed up 2 hours late and then insulted you.
Yes.
That's a pretty big demerit on 7 o'clock Craig. But, can't really be mad that he brought pie. You know what I'm saying? He brought the pie and the rolls. Just don't eat the pie.
That's nice that he brought the pie. I think that's fine. If you wanted to leave it there, you didn't want it, that's okay too. Give it away or throw it away.
Put the pie outside and let somebody, smell it and, float over.
Yeah.
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 And then they'll eat it.
They'll eat it.
You
But
know?
yeah, if you just leave it on the windowsill, then you'll be good.
Yeah, just make sure it's warm enough for the cartoon smoke to
Yeah, so
billow
it
off
come
of it
You
and
gotta get that good steam.
flow down the street.
Yeah. But everything else, 7 o'clock, Craig. Come on.
7 o'clock Craig, what are you doing? Don't be insulting.
Come on.
Have we also talked to 7 o'clock Craig and been like, hey, when you crack the wise guy, jokes, not really a huge fan of those, Craig.
Yeah, Craig.
But we have some comments. Comment 1 says, Comment 1 says, you're weirdly sensitive about the pie, but justified in being upset about his comments about your dishes and about your food, and the fact that he was so late. OP said, if it hadn't been for the other stuff, I probably wouldn't have minded as much, especially since he bought it at a restaurant that has the most artificial tasting chocolate pies I've ever had. And OP's clarifying on if Craig's girlfriend was even invited to Thanksgiving the first time. Has Craig been with his girlfriend for a while? OP says, Craig asked if he could bring her, and we said yes. She was perfectly kind to us. They're actually engaged now, and my husband hasn't known him that long. They used to work together, and I know my husband and his work friends are rude and inappropriate with each other, and I told him that if he wants to act like that with his friends, I don't care. But I don't like people treating me like that. Comment 2 says, why does your husband keep inviting him? And if they're tight enough to spend all the holidays together, why hasn't he addressed this behavior? Not the a-hole. Your husband borders on it, though. And OP says, to be fair, those are only 2 holidays in the past 4 years. That's what I was going to immediately point out. This commenter's like, he's coming to every holiday? It's like...
well, not quite.
We're talking about the third one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't know it had been 4 years, but not really every single holiday.
Yeah.
He's coming over on Arbor Day?
How
Yeah, he
dare
brings
you?
a tree.
On Talk Like a Pirate Day? On
7-Eleven Day?
Yeah. And he didn't bring us free slushies?
He just brought one for himself.
Come on.
OP replies, he usually visits his family, but those 2, he happened to be in town. Commenter 3 says, not the a-hole, you have a husband problem. Craig is obviously an a-hole, but why is your husband okay with his friend being so rude and nasty to his wife? Does your husband also treat you like this? Or talk bad about you to Craig so that he feels comfortable enough to act this way? The first time a guest was ever rude to me in my own home would be the last time they were inside it. Tell your husband he can go spend Thanksgiving with Craig and his girlfriend while you stay home alone. I don't think that's a win, commenter. Don't think that's a win. I don't like this. There will be no less and no a-hole making rude comments. OP says, I've seen my husband around his friends, and they go all out with the mean comments towards each other. So I get that it's their friend dynamic. My husband says that Craig sees me as a friend, and that's why he's comfortable being rude to me. But he isn't trying to actually be mean. I told him I'm not mean to my friends, and he said he'd tell Craig to be nicer, but that he just forgets I'm not like his other friends. Comment 4 says, ask your husband, what about Craig does he actually like? All these comments saying this stuff, and it's like, we didn't even ever talk to Craig, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think Craig has ever been made aware that he even stepped out of line in any way.
Right. I think this is the kind of situation where it's like, you know, maybe they just haven't said anything because it's like the kind of thing where it's like, these are big enough to be really annoying, but small enough to like not be like, hey, what's the freaking deal, Craig? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, so how do you bring up those issues with a friend?
It feels like this started with like the comment about the dishes was like a little splinter.
Yeah.
And then OP just like was like just having it fester.
Yeah.
And just like, ugh, and it's been a whole year now. And they're
Right.
like, if Craig says one thing out of line, I'm concussing him with the pie he brought for Easter.
Yeah.
And I am lighting his car on fire. Like,
Yeah.
let's just start with, hey, Craig, I would prefer to you not to speak to me this way.
Yeah. I think we need to know how we feel about these things. And then when something comes up again, then we just nip it in the bud right away.
OP says, they used to work together, and I know Craig did have my husband's back in a situation where a higher-up was trying to get my husband fired over a mistake that was the higher-up's fault. Craig sounds like he's not that bad. I do appreciate him being there and defending my husband in that situation, but in my personal life, he's annoying. And comment 5 says, you're definitely not the a-hole and a saint for being willing to host him again after his nonsense. But I have to ask, what is your husband doing while you're cooking a huge meal? Because mine is doing the dishes, so we end the night with an almost clean kitchen. Plates and serving dishes, but the pots and pans are done. I ask because it sounds like your husband doesn't really respect the work that goes into hosting these things, which usually happens because he doesn't contribute to it. OP says he typically cleans the house for the guests. We can be a little lazy about it when we don't have company, so it gets messy, and we have dogs, so everything needs to be vacuumed. And it's a small kitchen, so if he tried to wash dishes, he would end up being in my way, and I'd get even more frustrated. So we always agree to handle dishes after everyone leaves. Comment 6 says, OP, did Craig make the complaint towards you specifically or towards your husband, or the both of you? Because if it's towards you in particular, then that man has a lot of gall to complain after having enjoyed the meal you made, twice, I might add, In your shoes, if Craig comes to dinner and complains again, I'd hand him some dish gloves and a brush and tell him and hubby to start cleaning it if it bothers him so much. You cooked, he can clean. He's been a rude guest so far, and you don't have to tolerate it, and he's not even family. OP said he said my name, so it was directed at me. And we have an update, and it's post-Thanksgiving.
Okay, so we find out if Craig said any other little comments.
Yeah, and I see a comment, Toria Bumgarner says, if Craig was a punk like that, I'd tell Craig to cut the crap. He can talk like that, so can I. Yeah, I think that, and OP's probably not built that way. OP says that's not how they interact with their friends, but, this is a perfect opportunity because you don't like Craig and Craig's not your friend. But if you talk to him in a mean way, Craig will be like, oh, she's my friend. So it's kind of like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
You can be as rude as you want to Craig, and he'll be like,
I guess
oh,
so.
OP's so cool.
Right. But
or,
might not be the case.
I mean, like, what would you say to Craig?
I would just be like, hey, yo, buddy-o.
Hey, yo, buddy.
If you don't like that I got the messy dishes when you are here as a guest, when I cleaned or I cooked for you, then maybe you could pitch in and clean them for me. Just like, hey, really good observation there. I'm so glad you volunteered to clean them up. Yeah, it is a problem. You're so right.
Yeah.
Get to it.
Craig, you're so observant. Why don't you observe where the scrubby brush and the soap is?
Yeah.
Yes. And there's an update. So since Thanksgiving was yesterday, I decided to update, but first I want to address a few things. Craig did ask if he could bring his girlfriend, and we said yes because she's a very sweet person. I just forgot to mention that. And why did I or my husband not call Craig out? Well, I am very non-confrontational, and my husband and his friends roast each other. That's just their dynamic. My friends and I borderline flirt with each other, so it's the exact opposite. I disagree. I think men bullying each other is flirting.
Is that how you flirt with your men?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I always tell Keon he's a stinky little goose.
Yeah, because you want to kiss him.
Because I'm like, ooh.
I mean,
Ooh,
yeah.
I like you.
I think that it's kind of hard to say, like, what other people should be doing or should not be doing in that sense. It's like, well, you flirt how you flirt. That's okay.
Yeah. Friend flirt.
Friend flirt.
It's friendtatious. Flirt.
Yeah.
Flirtendly.
Friendly flirty.
Friendlacious.
Friendlacious.
Friendtatious.
Friend.
We've got all the options covered. So, when Craig insulted me, it's because he likes me and sees me as a friend. A lot of people also seem to think my husband is terrible, and that's easy to say when this is the only thing you know about him, but let me assure you I could not have asked for a better husband. He supported me for years while I was unemployed, and he didn't complain. He's taking care of me while I was sick and recovering from surgery. He defended me when his mother called me lazy. He likes to surprise me with little presents and treats for no reason, and he's more excited about my little victories than I am, and is always quick to remind me how amazing he thinks I am whenever I try to say something negative about myself. He's silly, and he makes me laugh. He's so amazing that I'm willing to put up with his lukewarm friends. Several people have also mentioned that I should go out to eat, and as a person who used to serve on Thanksgiving, that sounds horrible. But you know what's not horrible? The fact that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and you're set.
You sure are.
Yeah, we've got a little bit more. Me personally, I'm in the Free Craig camp.
Okay.
Free Craig, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
OP already said that they're very non-confrontational, so it's like you can't expect somebody to change or like not adopt, but like adapt. You can't expect somebody to adapt to your way of being or communicating if you never say anything.
I have to agree with that.
And like, yeah, it's absolutely unhinged for him to show up during that Easter dinner or Easter brunch, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it was dinner. And be like, oh yeah, the food. Like you can't insult the food. Even
Come
I mean,
on.
that's
She made everything for you guys. Maybe not the pie, but still.
He even said, he's like, my girlfriend makes better food. If I was his girlfriend, I'd be like, don't bring me into this.
Yeah. So maybe free Craig until OP you stand up for yourself and you speak your mind.
You got to go to Craig. You got to go, hey Craig, come here. I don't want to be weird, but I don't like you razzing me.
Yeah.
You know, can we just be more, polite?
Yeah.
And Craig goes, oh, dude, yeah, 100%.
Here you go.
And then it's over.
Take notes, OP. Word for word. Say that exactly.
And then if he calls you a little stinky doodoo baby, then he's the a-hole.
Yeah.
Anyway, as it turns out, my husband didn't invite Craig. After my initial response, he decided not to stress me out any more than I already was. He did invite some guys from work who had nowhere else to go, and I invited my uncle and cousin. Everyone was an hour late, which is LA on time. But since the food was still hot and I was vibing to my music, I didn't mind much. The food was mostly good and no one insulted me, even though the turkey was a little dry. Don't worry, I know what I did wrong. You didn't put it in a bag. You gotta put that turkey in a bag.
Put it in a bag. Turkey bag.
Put that turkey in a turkey bag.
Turkey bag.
And I had a good time gossiping with my cousin while the guys watched football. And there are some more comments here asking what OP did wrong with that turkey. OP says, well, typically I use a Reynolds bag to cook it in.
Okay.
You didn't put it in the bag.
Well, you didn't. It sounds like they did put it in the bag.
No, they didn't.
A Reynolds bag to cook it in.
Typically.
Oh, aha, I missed that one important word.
OP continues, I know it sounds crazy to cook a turkey in a plastic bag, but trust me, it works. It keeps the turkey moist. So you don't have to keep basting. I used the bag, but I heard you should cut ventilation holes so the bag won't pop. I think I cut too many holes, or my holes were too big, which allowed too much moisture to escape. So next time, I'll just stick with 2 small holes. I hate it when my holes are too big, man.
No comment.
Comment 1 says, great outcome. I'm not sticking around for the brine police. And comment 2 says, it's still rude to show up an hour late, but I'm glad you had a great time. And that's the end.
Well, okay.
Dude,
I mean, yeah.
free my dog, Craig.
Come on, Craig.
Free my dog, Craig. Craig, who made your husband not get fired?
Yeah.
Craig, who had your husband's back when he had a target on it?
Right. I mean, that's pretty neat if you ask me. But, I mean, it sounds like you guys, you're getting to your solution, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of this, dude. Your husband was like, yeah, we'll just like ignore him and remove his existence, even though I guess whatever. Maybe your husband's not that big of a friend with him. But come on. We can't just be non-confrontational forever. We have to be able to just like have a conflict. That's not even a big conflict. That's just like maybe 25 seconds of uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, this is definitely not like friendship ending over.
No, it shouldn't be.
Especially, I mean, if you're non-confrontational too, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you don't like what someone's doing, you don't like how they're acting, then like, sure, you just don't have to be friends with them again. But if it's not your friend, it's your husband's friend or fiance, husband, whatever.
Husband, yeah.
Your husband's friend, then like, that's for just deal with it or confront it. I feel like you shouldn't be like, oh, there's a problem happening and I'm complaining and I don't like it. By the way, I'm non-confrontational and I'm not going to fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It just makes you seethe.
Yeah.
Just seethe about it. So now instead of being uncomfortable for one brief moment of conversation, you are constantly making yourself uncomfortable by like reliving and re-experiencing this like one moment of like, friction.
Right.
And every time you think about it, you just get a little more like annoyed by it. And
exactly.
It's kind of your fault at that point.
Yeah.
Like
if you're self-aware enough to know that you are non-confrontational when you're talking about a conflict, then like, I feel like we should be aware enough to actively work on it. This is a great opportunity to adjust that behavior in ourselves.
It's like being like, yeah, like I have a broken arm, but I'm not going to do anything about it. It's like, well, then your arm's going to be all wonky and messed up.
Yeah.
If you're non-confrontational, you got to work on doing some level of confrontation. This was like easy mode too. This was like stage 1, like, hey, I'd prefer if you didn't speak to me that way.
Right.
Oh, now I know. Now the boundary's been set. Now if he crosses it, all right, Craig, we're having problems now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a lot of talk for 7 o'clock, Craig. Let's put him in the past. 'Cause we got another story.
We sure do. I told my wife I would lose respect for her if she refused to apologize.
Well, maybe she doesn't care.
My wife and I have 3 kids. Thursday, my wife was helping our 9-year-old with her homework. She was supposed to fill in a chart with the times tables. That was a hectic day.
Bro.
The times tables.
No. No, we can't call helping 9-year-old homework, 9-year-old timetable math homework.
Yep.
That's too easy.
It's too easy, man.
1 times 2, 2.
Come on.
1 times 3, 3.
I don't know. That sounds like it's coming from someone that never sat at the kitchen table with their dad over math homework crying.
No, I did not. I was too smart.
Flex.
I was too smart. For that.
Flex.
Well, get out of here then.
Our 4-year-old threw up, and I was trying to clean him up while my wife was having trouble getting our 9-year-old to focus on what she was doing because she kept looking at me. Our 9-year-old hates math and is pretty bad at it, which annoys my wife, who is usually fantastic with math. By the way, this comes from throwaway574584, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations, so let us know what you do in the comments.
Yeah.
NOP says, my wife asked our daughter what 7 times 7 was. Quick, Dakota.
49.
Nice. Is it 49 or 42? What's 42? Put it in the comments below.
That's 2 times.
Could be a lot
21.
of things, huh?
42 is not.
It's 6
No,
times. It's 6 times 7. It's just
Gonna say
49 minus 7.
7 less.
Wow.
Our daughter said she didn't know. My wife kept telling her to try to think of any answer. She kept saying she didn't know. My wife was getting frustrated. Our daughter finally guessed 37. My wife said, close, 47. Our 13-year-old then said, no, Mom, it's 49. My wife snapped at that point and told him to shut up and go upstairs. Okay, Mom. Can't be doing that. All right?
Dude. Sorry,
You
you
were
got
close.
called out.
Sorry.
You are not smarter than a 5th grader.
You're teaching your child the wrong math. Your other child is simply helping out. Sorry, girl. He went into the backyard instead. She took a deep breath and then went into our room. I finished with our 4-year-old and then went outside. Oh, wait, this is a 4-year-old doing the times tables? Is that
thought she
right?
was 9.
No,
Oh, okay. I was
9-year-old. Yeah.
Never mind. 4-year-old threw up. Okay, they're cleaning that. That's okay. Never mind. Keeping track of all the kids.
Oh my God, my mom just did 6-7. My mom just did a 6-7 comment.
Oh, wow.
Guys, it's
Oh,
officially
wow.
it's officially the end of the world.
I guess so. I guess it is. Oh, man. I tried to talk to him, but he didn't want to listen. He kept saying, but Dad, 7 times 7 is 49. I told him his mom just got frustrated and didn't mean to yell at him. He kept insisting that 7 times 7 is 49, which I'm aware of, so I got nowhere.
Yeah, what do you mean you got nowhere? You go, yeah, you're right. It's 49. Your mom was wrong. She yelled at you because
Yeah.
she didn't like being wrong, but she's a person. It's
Right.
okay. Let it go.
I went back inside to talk to my wife. She said she knew she shouldn't have yelled. She said she was frustrated because he was distracting her, and that's why she made the mistake. I pointed out that she made the mistake before he said anything.
Oh.
And then she's gonna say, shut up, go upstairs.
Yeah. I say, shut up. You stop saying anything. It was you.
And then it's OP and the 13-year-old just
Yeah.
brooding outside.
Say that is probably not the time to bring more like, actually.
She started crying and asked why I was being so critical. I apologized and told her I loved her. We hugged it out, but then I asked her if she was going to go apologize to our 13-year-old. She said no, because he shouldn't have interrupted her.
Girl, he interrupted you with the right answer.
Yeah,
He interrupted you because you were being wrong.
you're wrong. Like, I feel like she's just blaming everyone else. She's
And then-
still not
yeah.
accepting that she's done anything wrong,
Right.
except for yelling.
She started crying, saying, why are you being so critical of me? It's like, yeah, because you screamed at our son for knowing what 7 times 7 is.
Yeah,
And then, left and went to your room.
right.
Like, do you want our 9-year-old to not know math, right?
Right. Like, come on. She said he was rude and needed to learn not to interrupt. I told her it's not okay to tell them to shut up. We went back and forth, and I finally said that I won't be able to respect her as much if she doesn't apologize. That really hurt her. She said she needed space. She hasn't said a word to me or him since Thursday. I know that what I said is harsh, but I can't respect someone who won't apologize when they made a mistake. Am I the a-hole?
No, dude, your wife just sounds way too competitive. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what that is? Or what is the emotion attached to this? Because she's giving you the silent treatment over being off by 2 digits. Really? Just because you're like, dude, you yelled at our son.
Right.
Just go say, sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you. You were right.
That's
but,
all you gotta do.
I got overwhelmed because I was working with your sister. She's not good at it. And then I was wrong. And then you were right. And I wigged out.
Yeah. OP does say, my sister says that I am the a-hole because I'm not being supportive and our 13-year-old is a lot. We do have an update, but yeah, no, I don't think you're the a-hole. I mean, maybe it was a little far, but I kind of get that, like, if she's really not letting up on this, maybe another thing that you could have done is just like leave it alone and come back to it when emotions aren't so high. Because this is right after everything happened.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, the only person who knows your wife's emotional temperance is you.
Yeah.
But I gotta agree. I would also lose respect if it's like I have to like do a debate with you about apologizing to our son you yelled at.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Yeah.
And you're like being like, well, no, he interrupted me. It's like, well, okay, he didn't. He interjected because you were incorrect.
Yeah.
And then you yelled at him and said to go outside. So if you can't swallow your pride to apologize to our own child, I will be like, wow, I respect you less.
Like, you can be excused because, like, it's a stressful day, stressful time. A lot of stuff is happening. And it's understandable to, like, snap and be like, I don't know how to deal with throw up at 37 and 47 and 49. Too many numbers in my head. That's okay. but yeah, just admit it.
42, 47, 49.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
shut up and go outside.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, maybe you didn't just say that you would respect her less. Maybe that's a little much.
Yeah, like I'm 100% on the train of like, definitely apologize to your kids when you've been mean and you're wrong. Like, you should apologize to them still.
Totally.
But maybe you should have let your wife cool off before you were like, actually, you were wrong before he called you out, and I respect you so much less.
Yeah, I think we maybe could have just worded it a little differently. But we do have an update. My wife got up before our alarm and started cleaning our bathroom. I started the laundry and made breakfast. She didn't say a word when she sat down to eat. She ate much faster than normal. She stood up, picked up our 4-year-old, and told our 9-year-old to get ready because they were going to the library. She didn't say anything to our 13-year-old. Mom, what you doing? Were you gonna ignore your 13-year-old now? Come on.
That's the classic power play move. She's shutting down. She's doing the silent treatment. And she's trying to build things up to the point where OP will go, okay, no, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry. You're everything. Please, I'm sorry.
Right.
That's what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
And if you know me, I hate that more than anything.
Understandable. I told her we need to talk, and she shook her head. I followed her upstairs and insisted that we needed to talk. She just kept shaking her head. She went into our 4-year-old's room and locked the door. I went downstairs and told our 13 and 9-year-old that we are going to the dog park. They both asked if mom was okay, and I said yes, and that she needed space. I grabbed some clothes for our 9-year-old from the laundry room, and she changed in the downstairs bathroom. We are at the dog park, and my wife is refusing to answer my texts. I'm starting to think that this isn't about math.
I mean, it couldn't be, right?
I hope not.
This is
How dare you ignore your 13-year-old, though? That's so upsetting.
Yeah.
When you need to apologize to him for yelling at him, like, the least you could do is just not make things worse.
Right.
But here you are doing that. And we do have some comments here and a lot more to this story. Burrito Bowl Guac says she hasn't spoken to her son in 3 days and she was in the wrong. Ouch. Beautiful Monster says, I just realized it's been 3 days. What the heck? That's even worse. Optimus Prime says, true. Now she has way more to apologize for. Future Stan says, and way more respect has been lost. A grown adult holding a grudge against their own child. Pathetic, embarrassing, cringe. I don't even think I could get hard. I don't even think I could get all... I don't think I could get in the mood for a woman like that.
I don't think I'd ever be attracted to a woman with such temperament.
General judgment is not the a-hole, but we do have an update from 2 days later. What do we think is going to happen?
She still ain't talking. I'm like, dude, you think I'm going to respect you more now? is this you earning the respect back?
Like, silent treatment is like, dude, you're just making it so much worse for so many ways.
That's what the 13-year-old is supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Not you.
Come on, set an example. But updates 2 days later. Yesterday, Sunday, my wife wanted to take the 2 younger children to the library. I tried to talk to her, but she locked herself in the 4-year-old's room. I took our 2 older children to the dog park. She took our 4-year-old to the library. At the dog park, I talked to our 13-year-old. I explained to him that a lot was going on right now, and his mother was just overwhelmed. I said that sometimes when a person is overwhelmed, the next thing that happens, good, bad, or neutral, is the thing that pushes them over, and the source of that thing is what they lash out at. I said his mom was wrong to lash out at him, but it wasn't his fault, and she didn't really mean it. I said she was embarrassed, and that was why she was avoiding him. He said that wasn't fair, and we kept going back and forth.
Well, he's right about that as well.
That is
not
true.
Fair.
It's definitely not fair.
I feel like we just need to be saying that. We
Yeah.
can't just agree.
Yeah,
It's just be like, yeah, it's not fair. But,
it's just what
people
happened.
are complicated little animals with
Yeah.
big, squishy brains.
I was trying to help him understand that he didn't do anything wrong and shouldn't feel bad, but all he could focus on was that he was being treated unfairly. I told him that it was unfair, okay, but that his mom isn't perfect and everyone makes mistakes. I said sometimes he's unfair, but we forgive him because we love him. I said forgiving his mom, even though she is wrong, would be a nice way to show his love for her, but that he doesn't have to. Again, he just said that the situation was unfair, which it is. It really is. After the dog park, I took our 13-year-old to a friend's house and our 9-year-old to a friend of mine's house. I went home and made dinner. However, my wife went out for dinner with our 4-year-old, so she didn't get home until after I had put everything away. I told her that we had to talk now that the older kids weren't here and that not talking wasn't an option anymore. But she still ignored me, so I said that if she wouldn't engage with me, I would have to call our sisters and get them to come over to help me. She got very angry, but she finally engaged. She told me that she is drowning. She said work is exhausting, and every day when she gets home, her patience is already below 0. She is scared and upset by our 4-year-old's stomach issues. She said he threw up again at dinner. She really shouldn't have taken him out to eat because we were supposed to keep track of everything he eats before throwing up or not throwing up before the appointment today, which is impossible to do at a restaurant, but I didn't mention that. She said she can't take our 13-year-old's behavior anymore. I said he didn't do anything wrong on Thursday. She said that when we were that age, if we interrupted our parents to tell them they were wrong, we would have been punished severely.
Yes. And you know what? If we take that all the way back, people used to get their hands chopped off for stealing bread.
Right.
Why don't we go back to that? Because
Right.
it's always better to go back to the olden ways.
Totally. I think so.
Yes. Do you have a headache? Let's get all the blood out of your head.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
That's the issue, is you got too much blood in there. That's why
Yeah.
it's hurting. Yeah, no, I think that could have been the thing where it's like she's just defaulting to like what she saw when she was a kid from her parents or something. But hopefully they have a conversation in the next few sentences that, convinces her otherwise. She said that we raised a spoiled, entitled child. She said she can never get any peace and quiet in our own home that we worked hard to pay for because we have a spoiled teen that refuses to ever stop talking or making noise.
Yeah, maybe if you wanted that, you shouldn't have had 3 children.
Yeah,
I
that's what they do.
don't know about you.
They be making noises. I said we've been working on those behaviors and he has been improving, but she lashed out when he was trying to be helpful and that sends the wrong message. She told me that I'm not supporting her. She said that she needs things to change. She said we need to crack down and stop being so lenient. If he plays the recorder after we've told him he's done for the night, we need to take it. If he interrupts, he needs to go straight to his room. If he argues about curfew, he needs to lose privileges. I told her we need to take a step back. I said if she is overwhelmed, she needs to take a break. I told her this heightened emotional state is a bad time to make huge household changes. I suggested, like many commenters did, that she get a hotel for a few days and decompress. She said she's not the problem, and he is.
Ah, yes.
Ah.
Good. Blame the 13-year-old for everything.
I will say though, like, those seem like valid rules to change.
They kind of do.
If
If
there
you're
is a
gonna
recorder
be
in the
annoying and
house.
play your recorder after we told you to stop, yeah, there's a consequence. If you're
Yeah.
gonna keep doing this thing, yeah, it's a consequence. Like,
Right.
I feel like her being like, we just need to add some consequences in, and him being like, whoa, is a little weird.
I mean, I think this is also, it feels like every single part of this is like so nuanced, you know, like I think it probably would be a good thing for her to decompress, but I do agree. I think some of those rules are probably fine. And if she's saying like that she's not the problem, he is, it's like, okay, well, he is this way because of our parenting in a way. So like maybe we can chill out a little bit and then hopefully he chills out more or something like that. You know, I mean, it's obviously not that simple, but like, I don't know. I feel like everything is, they're just so close. They're so close to agreeing.
Yeah.
There's some things it's like, yeah, but like not quite.
I just don't like how she's trying to paint it like, he interrupted me. Girl, you just got one thing wrong. Your 9-year-old just said 37, and then you said 47, but you meant to say 49. That's all.
Right.
Let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also snap the recorder in half, for God's sake. It's the worst instrument ever. Okay, snap that thing in half, or just take it away from him whenever you're supposed to.
Sure.
But like, he's not wrong where it's like, yeah, you haven't spoken to him in 5 days. The first thing you say to him shouldn't be, this is a thing, and that's a thing, and this is a thing, and that's a thing. It's like, no, the first thing you should say should be, hey, I'm sorry. I messed up, and I'm having a hard time because I'm your mom, but I'm also just human, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I should clarify. I didn't mean like jump in with all these new rules. I just mean like that's a good thing to consider once our emotions have calmed down and we've taken a step back and we freaking apologize to our child.
Totally. And I think too, it's like, well, if that stuff is really what's the issue, like of him, you know, playing the recorder when they asked him not to, like doing all this stuff when they specifically asked him not to, we have to know that like just because he's interrupting sometimes doesn't mean that every single time he starts talking is a bad interruption, you know?
Yeah.
Like we can acknowledge that this 49 thing is like a fine example, but we have to be specific in like the ways that he's doing something wrong, or else he's not actually going to learn. He's just going to learn that he's not allowed to talk around the house. And I feel like that's the worst thing that you can do for a teenager who's about to go through some very hard times in his life. Like that's no good. She said that he was bad from the beginning. Ooh. She said when our daughter didn't have all of his issues, she thought that it was because she's a girl. But our 4-year-old is a boy and is also better behaved, so he is the problem. She also said, I've always seen it and used to admit it, but stopped to make her look crazy. For context, I used to joke that our 13-year-old is challenging because he likes to be outside so much, loves animals, loves playing on his recorder.
Changeling.
Oh, okay. I was like, why is that challenging?
I don't know. It's like a fantasy thing.
Yeah, no.
But it's like, yeah. Now I'm like, eyebrows going up. I'm concerned. It's like, you sound like you want to like drop the kid in the middle of the woods and leave him there.
He belongs out with the animals. He can make friends with the squirrels and live in their homes.
I think there's some therapy that needs to go on here. Because you're probably just dealing with a 13-year-old who, I don't know, could have a behavioral disorder. Yeah. That's crazy, right? No 13-year-old has ever had that.
Right.
But, you know, whatever. Deal with it. You're the problem. Even if he is the problem, it's your problem.
Yeah, you don't fix it by just, like, punishing him so much. You fix it by fixing yourself. I want to stress that this was a joke. The reason I stopped making this joke is because I noticed that my wife didn't find it funny anymore. This was years ago anyway. I said all that, and she said no, that I saw even then that he is wrong, but stopped acknowledging it to make her feel like the problem. She also said that she has been seeing an online therapist. I had no idea. She said she didn't tell me because she was embarrassed. Her therapist told her that our son has dangerous tendencies and shows signs of being contemptuous towards women because he doesn't respect his mother.
She definitely used ChatGPT for that.
Yeah, that's the online therapist.
Guys, ChatGPT is programmed to agree with you. So if you put stuff into it like, my kid is blah, 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 it's going to go, oh, yeah, you're so right. And he's a danger to you, actually.
Yeah, I feel like a therapist for a mother should be talking about the problems with the mother, not saying, oh, my gosh, your son hates women.
Yeah.
He's going to be a terrible person to all of his future partners.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I had no idea how to respond to that. I said any therapist who would say something like that about a child they've never met shouldn't be licensed. And if it's an online therapist, for all she knows, they aren't. For all I know, we've got full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever favorite podcast app you choose. Just search OK Storytime. There is more to the story, but yeah, I don't like this situation at all. I don't like it.
It sounds like maybe you should do some therapy with your son instead of lying to your husband and clearly using a large language model to reaffirm that your son is broken and he is the problem and you're fine.
Yeah, because
don't do that.
She's really doing that with everything here. She's like, oh, well, I'm doing this because you made me. I'm overwhelmed and I snapped because you interrupted me. You shouldn't have done that. You are the one making me feel crazy because you used to agree with this and now you don't. It's like, hold on.
It's just everything she's saying is she's just trying to justify her own behavior. It's like she explains like, oh, I just feel like I'm drowning at work and everything at home is so chaotic and blah, blah, blah. And then OP's like, okay, well, why don't we get you like a hotel room? You can stay there for like a long weekend and just straight up decompress.
Right.
Get back to zero. And she's like, no, I don't need to do that.
Right.
She wants there to be a problem and she wants to be the one who's right about the problem.
She wants everyone else to be responsible, but that's not how things are fixed. Sorry, girl. At the end of our conversation, she agreed to go to the hotel only if she took our 4-year-old with her because she wanted to be the one to take him to his medical appointment. I didn't think that was a good idea at all. However, she ended up just taking him and going. I picked up the kids and brought them home. They sensed that something is wrong and were very subdued this morning getting ready for school. I talked to my boss when I came in, and he is going to let me leave early to go to our 4-year-old's medical appointment. I'm not sure what will happen there. I'm hoping it will be good news, and that will make us all feel less on edge. And that's the end of that story.
Dang, you know what? Honestly, that's something I didn't really factor in, but yeah, if the 4-year-old is also having like weird, health complications, like, dude, I can't imagine the level of stressed I would be.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, yeah, like, to give her some grace, I guess, like, yeah, that all sounds like very overwhelming parent stuff that I have not even gotten close to understanding. I'm not a parent. But, yeah, I think it's just like, I don't know. I wish that they could lean on each other more and be a team more here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the stuff, it sounds like the stuff about the 13-year-old has been sort of building for a while.
Yeah.
But even if she is super, blown out and overwhelmed, it's like, it doesn't justify. Literally, like, not even, what's the word? Like, you're in a competition with your 13-year-old about, like, I don't even know. It's not really about the math. It's about, like, at that point, like, manners, because it's like, he interrupted me, but then it's like, then you told him to shut up and go to his room. It's like, you made the bigger mistake there.
Right.
Because he didn't interrupt you and go, it's 49, you big, fat, stupid idiot. He said, no, Mom, it's 49.
Yeah, that's all. And you won't even, like, go back on that one small thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we read one story one time. I think it was you and me, Carly, that were reading it, where it was like, this woman was like, I don't like this, but I don't really like my 13-year-old. Like, I just don't like my child.
Oh, I feel like that was one that we read.
Yeah, but it ended up nice because, I mean, she was just saying, like, we don't have a lot of interests. This girl is just very, like, shaming the sister for wearing more revealing outfits and calling her, like, not a feminist because of that or something like that. She was, like,
so into her other kids and so against this also 13-year-old, I think.
Yeah, and so they just didn't get along. But what ended up happening was that parent got a lot of good advice from the comments and just invested herself in this kid's, like, interests more instead of, like, because they just watch different movies and stuff like that. So
because she would be like, when I love my one daughter who likes all of my same interests as me, and I don't understand the other one.
Yeah. So it's like that seems understanding to me because it's like you are growing a human who is their own human. Like, you can influence them as much as you can try, but, like, they're their own person. So I kind of get, like, if you don't totally get along. But as a parent,
like, one day doing the other child's interests and was like, actually, she's cool.
Yeah, she, like, literally she solved the issue by trying to understand her more and, like, get on her level and finding common ground and stuff like that. So it's like, I would hope that this wife would do the same for her kids. Like, it sucks that she's so against and it just thinking, like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this kid. Maybe they're just different. Maybe they just need to find some sort of common ground. But that's on the mom to do and take that step.
Yeah, it's on you to be the parent.
Yeah. But that's the end of that story. We've got another one coming up.
I gave my husband another chance, but he ruined it once again.
Ah, come on, man.
So, me and my husband met when I was fresh out of college. And a year later, we started to have this casual relationship, friends with benefits kind of thing. However, 8 months into this relationship, I ended up pregnant. Ain't that the darnest thing? I had always wanted a baby, and I decided to keep it even if my friend decided he wanted nothing to do with it. And by the way, this comes from user Analyst Worldly 6141 directly from the r/okstorytime subreddit.
What?
And you should go there to submit your own stories. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't know all the answers. We only know what we know. So let us know the things that you know down in the comments. And OP says, luckily, he seemed very excited and said I could do whatever I wanted and that he would be there to support me. He even suggested making the relationship real and introducing each other to our families, since he wanted to be married to me and spend his life with me. We decided to do this. At this time, I had already started working and was living in my own apartment in the building that my dad owned. In our culture, we do not really move out when we turn 18, and our parents support us financially for as long as they can. My husband at that time had no job and ran a bar that had literally zero income because it was just an empty place for all of our friends to gather.
Sounds like a grand old time,
He's
though.
like, yeah, I'm a bar owner, still looking for the bar, but we do have an empty square.
We have the empty square. We've got the vibes that go along with it, which arguably most important part of a bar.
Yeah, we do have the bar patrons.
Yeah.
No bar, though.
No, still working on that.
There's a building.
Yeah.
It says bar on the outside.
Yeah. So like,
No bar on the inside, though.
no.
This is bar in the so you walk up, you go, which bar are you going to? Bar.
The bar.
Bar.
The bar.
You know, bar.
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 Oh, dude, that would do numbers in LA. Are you serious?
Bar would do so well.
It would
Bar
be
is the
great.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm picturing bar in Culver somewhere downtown.
Dude, bar, everyone's buying $30 cocktails that cost 5 cents to make.
Tall drink, cold drink, pink drink.
Small drink, quick drink.
Yeah.
Small
One drink, two drink, red drink, blue drink.
Yeah. The menu looks like it's just been written in pencil.
Guys, we can't give everyone bar for free, okay? We gotta, we'll do this
brainstorm.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
None of you take this as ours.
He stayed with me most of the time whenever he came to my city and moved in permanently after the pregnancy. Our families were cool with it and decided to give us their blessing. During this whole pregnancy, I was working. I paid the bills and I paid for everything. I was okay with this, and I always said, if I'm being treated the right way and the way I want to be treated, I don't mind being the breadwinner. And my husband was very good to me. My brother suggested opening up a restaurant to help my husband stand on his feet. You could call that one restaurant.
Naturally, right next to bar.
I think we have to like really call out the great joke that Carly just made, because Kim Fine just said rebar. And Carly said that's what we'll rebrand to if we ever get shut down.
Yeah.
I think that's
good.
perfect.
I saw Angie chuckle at that across the room, and I was like,
That cannot go unnoticed.
Yes, that was a good call out.
That was great.
and Ming Ming bar with the barbarian bartenders.
Dude, stellar idea right here.
It just keeps getting better. We would not have to pay any investment money for the setup, and if we had profit, it would be divided equally. For at least a year, if it was running at a loss, we would not have to bear it. The key condition was that my husband had to be the manager. Everything was going so good, and I was so happy that I was already lucky with a generous family who treated me like their princess, and even luckier with a husband who treated me the same way. However, after giving birth, everything changed. My husband started to get moody and withdrawn all the time. It started the night my daughter was born. It was just the two of us in the hospital due to the lockdown. His mood shifted and he stopped talking to me just because I shouted, "Come fast! I need to go to the toilet!" This was right after I gave birth to this big old baby and had multiple tears in my Virginia that nearly reached my booty. So everything that, I'm going to say anus. That nearly reached my anus.
Okay.
So everything downstairs was completely messed up. He said I disrespected him all the time and stopped talking to me. Right after you gave birth?
That's insane.
Because you yelled that you had to go pee?
I literally have to go to the bathroom because the typical things that hold things in, not holding things in anymore. I gotta go. Unless you want me peeing all over the place like a dog.
He wants you to pee right in your pants.
Right in my pants.
Babe, I'm yelling at you because my anus is torn.
Yeah.
Well, that's not torn, but your other thing's torn
Torn up
to it.
I'm torn down to my anus.
How would you feel if you just...
You'd be
ripped.
Yelling too, Buster.
Yeah.
Come on, as John says, that baby was John Fry.
That was a big old baby. I did not think this would be the start of my crying journey. Postpartum was hard. I breastfed my daughter 100%, and that was incredibly hard with cracked nipples and no sleep. My husband would sleep so peacefully right next to me, and every night I would wake him up asking him to stay up with me sometimes because it would help me emotionally so much. I would understand if he had work the next day, but he did not. He also did not have to do any housework because my cousins came to help with all of that. Still, every night he slept peacefully. During the day, he was mostly on his phone playing games. When we were friends, we used to gather with a lot of our friends to play poker for fun, and our friends continued that. I stopped going to those gatherings after I gave birth. My husband kept going. When I asked him to not attend and to help me around the house with the baby, he would get mad and completely shut down. 2 months postpartum, when I was not even completely healed, I was home with my baby. My husband said his friend asked him to help them move houses. I said, okay, I'll see you when you get back. I stayed home after getting my daughter ready for a bath. One of our friends dropped by, and I guess he felt really sad when he saw me. He blurted out, your husband isn't helping move the house. He's playing poker at so-and-so's house. He's been doing that a lot recently. The whole friend group has been telling him not to come, but he refuses to listen. And that was when it clicked. All the time he said he was going somewhere, he had lied to me. This friend was a high school classmate of mine, but had been friends with my husband longer. My heart was broken. We had our fights, but I trusted him, and now that trust was gone. I forgot to mention that he left the business with my brother because he said it was suppressing his goals and dreams, and I supported that too. I confronted him, and he was not apologetic. He said, I lied because you get angry when I'm honest with you.
I'm sure you get angry when I tell you about all the terrible things I'm doing. That's why. You get angry when I go to leave you and your healing body and wounds and our new child so I could play poker. What else do you want me to do?
How am I supposed to be honest with you when the thing I'm doing is wrong? You get mad at me. I mean, honestly, so far, it sounds like this guy, it sounds like you got pregnant, and it sounds like he said all of those things because it was the right thing to say and, like, not necessarily what he really felt. And then the baby showed up, and everything became, you know, it went from, like, a delusion in his head to, like, oh, this is real, and that is my child, and I am his father, and I'm married, and it feels like one of those things where, what is it? The avoidant or whatever? Where it's like, yeah, he just avoided like really thinking or dealing with any of it. And then the baby came and he's like, oh, wait, now I'm stuck.
Yeah. It's like, oh, shoot, this is like real.
And now he's like taking it out on you emotionally and lashing out, being a bad husband, being a bad partner. I told him to get out of the room because I could not sleep next to him anymore. I was getting palpitations and anxiety just being near him, and I was barely sleeping anyway. He left the room and went into the next one. He ignored me for the next 7 days. I gave him multiple chances and asked if he really had nothing to say to me, but he completely ignored me. He just went around to his friends' houses and slept in the room next door. What are his friends telling him? If this was my friend, I'd be like, stop being a scumbag.
Yeah.
Knuckle down. What are you doing?
I mean, that one friend was saying that, like, everyone was telling him not to go to the poker nights and stuff, but I guess they're not doing much about it. If everyone, like, knew that this was happening and that he was lying to OP, and, like, they weren't okay with it, but they also weren't doing anything about it.
I mean, what do you do at some point? If he just, like, shows up, it's like, well, we got to just make it a place he doesn't know where we're at anymore.
I guess so.
Because it's like, what? You're going to just, if he just sits down and won't leave, it's like, okay, we can either ruin the entire night or we can just all try to pretend that Mr. Scumbag over here isn't being a total scumbag and try to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. Not invite him. If he comes, be like, yo, no one wants you here. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, if he shows up, it's like group WWE SmackDown, like intervention talk time of like, buddy, we all disapprove of your behavior here. Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh. So that was my last straw. I decided I didn't want to be with him. I told him to get out of the house and that I would be serving him divorce papers soon. But he left, and 3 days later, he came back at night begging me to forgive him. I said no. He came back again the next night, and I said no again. All this time, my head was full of him, day and night, thinking about what was going to happen next. Since we had the same circle of friends, I called around asking what he was doing during the day. I found out he was just hanging out with friends and sometimes playing snooker. Do we all know what snooker is?
No.
It's like a funny little version of billiards. Popular in Europe.
I see.
Specifically Britain, I believe. It's like bumper pool, I think is what they call it in the States. That made my blood boil. But my heart is not that hard, and I forgave him. We went like this for another few months. He would change for a few days, then go back to the same behavior until I started bawling my eyes out. Then he would become good husband again for a few days. I felt stuck in a vicious cycle. After thinking hard, I decided to stop this because it was destroying my mental health. We went our separate ways. He came to see his daughter as much as he could, sometimes when I was at work and sometimes when I was home. He loved his daughter. I decided I wanted to study more and do my master's in Australia, and my father said he could help me financially. My husband came running back, asking if he could go with me since our divorce had not gone through yet. He said he couldn't live without seeing his daughter. I refused. He then went to my brother, almost crying, asking him to please send him along as well. He promised to help pay 70% of my tuition fees. In our country, many people do this. Strangers get a marriage certificate to go to Australia together, and the dependent pays a percentage of the tuition fees, usually 70-30. My brother loves my daughter and encouraged me to give him another chance, not to stay together, but just so my daughter could see her father whenever she wanted. He promised to pay 70% of the first semester, but at the very end, he said he could not get the money. What a shocker. I would have said, oh boy, the guy who doesn't do anything and just hangs out at his buddies' places all day can't afford to actually pay. I didn't see that coming.
No way. No way, Jose.
This is just another case of, saying the thing that I need to say to get the thing that I want right now without any consideration or care for the reality of the situation or how I actually feel or what will actually happen.
Yeah, Ming Ming says get it in writing. I agree. Get it in writing. Use this all against him in court.
My father ended up paying 100% of the first semester. We made an agreement. My husband borrowed the amount he was supposed to pay from my father. Whenever he paid each semester, I would give him a receipt. If he did not pay the 70%, his property, a piece of land in the countryside, would go to my father. With this agreement, we came to Australia. After reaching Australia, my husband paid the fees diligently. He tried multiple times to get back with me, and my stupid weak heart accepted him. We moved in together. He suggested he would pay 100% of the fees since I had working restrictions as a student, and I would pay the rent bills and home expenses. What? He's just paying fees? So he's what? He's paying like the $50 on top of all of that?
Yeah, the least he could be paying.
What are we talking about? Is that just Australian for something else, or am I, what?
I don't know.
That cannot be a sizable amount of money that he's paying when you're paying rent, bills, and home expenses. What are we talking about? So now we're at the current situation. My husband does full-time Uber and drives for 12 hours a day. I work 24 hours a week, which is the maximum I am allowed to. I also need to be home with my daughter in the morning and afternoon. I drop her at my cousin's house when I go to work. My husband comes home, sleeps immediately, wakes up early, and goes driving again. When he's home and I try to talk about how things are going, he is always half-hearted and mostly in a bad mood. I understand he must be tired, but I feel like I am walking on eggshells all the time. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this all the time. All you got to do is go to your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever, and search OK Storytime. And we have a little bit left of this story time right now, again, from one of our own. And
oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
yeah, I think
Terrible.
I'm pegging this guy as Susie Talks a Lot.
Pause.
There was a big pause there.
I said it. Susie Talks a Lot,
Yeah.
which I thought that was going to be the funny part of it.
Me and Angie made eye contact. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He just says whatever. He says he's got pre-programmed responses, and then you don't know what's actually going on underneath that.
yeah,
So-
no thoughts in his brains.
At least he loves his daughter. But if every other thing on the list is just negative,
Yeah.
we can't be supporting him
Mm-mm.
financially, or we can't be supporting him emotionally, or like having him be back with us.
Yeah.
If he wants to be in his daughter's life, then let that be the motivation that allows him to, I don't know, build one for himself.
Yeah, just because he feels the emotion of love for his daughter doesn't really mean much in this situation. Like, it's cool, that's great, but like, if you did, then wouldn't you want to support that with your actions, maybe? I don't know.
I am constantly worried about pissing him off and always doing things to make him happy. The only time he is jolly, happy, and talkative is when he wants the spicy sleep. When I communicate how I'm feeling, he either dismisses me or says I create everything in my head. We're like housemates. We don't even talk when sitting right next to each other. My cousins tell me to give him a break and that he's a good man because at least he's working hard to pay my fees. Yeah, because there's a threat of consequence behind it.
Yeah, he's not doing it just out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, he's doing it because he's like, I want to keep my land.
Yeah.
But when I calculated it, him paying 100% of my fees is the same as him paying 70% because before he had to pay rent and other expenses. Now that he lives with me, he does not have those costs anymore. Am I the a-hole for feeling this way? No.
Absolutely
You're
not. That whole fee paying thing is like one out of so many issues with this guy. He needs to deal with things on his own. He needs absolutely no help from you. Not the a-hole. Definitely not.
You're not, and if you don't want to stay in a relationship, he'll probably try to be like, you're trying to keep my daughter away, you're trying to take my daughter away. And it's like, no, it's actually 100% on you now, how
Yep.
that process unfolds and how much time you'll be able to spend with her. But that is the end of that story, and we have some comments to read. These comments are from the video, My Fiance Gets Paid to Cheat on Me.
This title sounds so familiar, but I do not remember this story.
I feel like I would remember it. And it was posted July 30th, 2025.
Wow, long time ago.
Here's the TLDR. OP notices her boyfriend acting distant and assumes he might be cheating. So she snoops through his phone and messages. Panicked by small clues, she confronts him and confesses everything. Instead of cheating, he reveals hidden money, stress from quitting smoking, and innocent explanations for every suspicious little detail. Shocked by his claim, honesty, and forgiveness, OP realizes she misread everything and feels deep shame for doubting someone who handled it with grace. And if you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video.
Wow.
Now, I'm kind of curious now.
Yeah, it sounds mysterious.
Yeah, it's like, well, how did that end up positive? What a twist.
And that does look like it's story 2 from that video if you're going to go looking for it.
Yes, story
Okay.
2, July 30th.
And our first comment's by KDog6610. In a committed relationship, I am a proponent of financial transparency. And it is not okay to withhold information because of worry that your partner will feel stressed. Your partner is an adult and doesn't need parental protection. And in this story, he was already becoming grumpy, so his financial situation was impacting her and their relationship. I don't remember this story at all, but
It sounds like a pretty, succinct comment on that story. Again, I do not remember, but it sounds like it was well worded
He was
for what I
getting
know.
a little grumpler with it. And I will say, as someone who's quit smoking multiple times, boy, oh boy, do you get a little grumpler. Boy, oh boy, do you become a little grumpler there.
It's part of it.
Commenter 2, Lisa Severance 6785. Last story, the guy was desperate enough to make a fake person and email to do surveys for extra cash. I think it might be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta hustle by pretending to cheat on your girlfriend for money.
You're doing it for the family, don't you know?
Comment 3 by Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams.
Oh,
That's great.
Pharrell Williams.
little known.
But that threw me off. 9167 at 34 minutes. So this OP needs hardcore therapy because she did all that without finding anything, yet labeled her boyfriend cheater in her title.
So maybe he didn't even cheat.
I don't think he did. I think she just thought he did.
We'll have to all go watch this.
Yeah, this is like
It's our
really
homework
interesting
tonight.
to me.
We'll all watch this together.
Go do it tonight.
And we got one more comment from Cowbot is God.
What?
I
Yeah.
tried one of those survey websites to see if it was a scam, and it took about 8 hours to earn a $10 Walmart gift card. The card worked, though.
So you did it?
It did work.
That's
It did
great.
work.
I was thinking you like gave up halfway through or something like that, but that's
No, it
awesome.
worked.
So he's putting in hours to get these gift cards, filling these surveys,
Putting in the work.
hustling.
Putting in that hard work.
He's working harder, not smarter.
Not
So,
smarter at all.
Not
no.
smarter at all. But that is the end of the episode, it seems.
Yeah.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.
Hey, wait a minute. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave. We have bonus stories that we think you're going to really like. So stay tuned for the next one.
My boyfriend's friends interrogated me about my career. I felt humiliated.
What do you make per hour? Tell us right now.
I need some help processing this. They made me question whether or not I'm actually authentic when it comes to what I'm interested in. I feel like I don't want to talk about my interests with anyone because I don't want to be pop quizzed. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Gulala, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, the person I'm dating, we've been together for 3 months, I'll call him Dan, recently invited me out to dinner to meet some of his coworkers. The first red flag was that he invited everyone out to a Hooters and said that they chose that restaurant because it's close to where they work and it's easy to get to.
Look, Hooters has good wings.
Oh, yeah?
But undeniably the worst restaurant you could pick to introduce your girlfriend to your friends for the first time.
Which, this is true, but there are several other restaurants nearby that offer better food and a better atmosphere. Before he invited me out to dinner, he half joked that his coworkers, all of them are male, didn't believe that he was dating a hot girl that's into the same hobbies as them. The hobbies that are considered to be primarily for men. I was a little irked at that comment, but he just said that he's just joking around. This pretty much became the catchphrase for the men that night. When everyone arrived at the restaurant, Dan and his coworkers were making comments about the girls that worked there and their physical appearances. This made me a little uncomfortable, but I didn't say anything. Once everyone ordered their food and drinks, his friends started to quiz me about my interests. Many of them shared the same male-dominated hobbies I'm interested in, and they more or less just tried to see if I knew facts about the hobby, as opposed to asking me questions about what I like or don't like, or what I'm currently doing in said hobby. For example, if my hobby was American history, one of them would ask an esoteric question like, "Oh, so you like American history? How many $1 bills are currently in circulation? How old is the French Broad River?" I also work as a junior automation engineer at a startup software company. I haven't been writing code that long, as I was working in QA prior and learned how to code while I was in that position. I'm really green and I still have a lot to learn. The projects I'm working on are small and I'm getting help at work. All of his friends are senior level software engineers and were quizzing me about my work and trying to see how much I actually know. They were asking about advanced things I did not know about and were asking me the technical questions that don't even apply to my job. But they were all smiling and laughing and would frequently say something like, "Oh, we're just kidding." At one point, I felt like I was at some weird interview and was taking one question at a time from each D-bag at the table. I know I stopped fake smiling at some point and just emotionlessly answered their questions. I think one of them became self-aware because he just looked down at his phone for the rest of the evening and didn't ask me anything else. and just looked uncomfortable. I'd be interrupted if I tried to include my thoughts on the subject or nod at me and look away to someone else. I should mention that all of these guys were 5 to 10 years older than me. I'm 25 and the guy I'm dating is 29 and his coworkers are in their early to mid 30s. I don't have as much experience as they do. Part of me was hoping that I could meet peers who could have helped guide me or answer my questions about their careers, but instead one of them literally asked me to give an SQL query. They all kept saying that they were just kidding around or just joking and laughing about it, but it was so cringy. Dan was sitting beside me and wasn't stopping this behavior from his coworkers. He was coaching me, I guess, saying things like, "Oh, you know this one," or "Come on, you got this. We talked about this last week." Dan also made the comment of, "See, she's really smart too," to one of the guys at the table.
It's like you're turning into like a trading card. Check out the stats on this Pokemon that I caught.
Like, see? It has all this damage.
I told you she knows Thunderbolt. None of the guys believe me that you could do Thunderbolt, but I told them.
That whole night was just awful. He was actually irritated at me because he saw my whole mood change while I was being quizzed by his friends. He said that he noticed me having an attitude with his coworkers when they were just having fun and just trying to get to know me. That it was immature of me to have been so obviously annoyed that I audibly sighed multiple times when one of his friends spoke to me.
Okay, but we're not going to talk about how it's immature to not realize you're just bothering someone all night.
Yeah, like, come on. That's such a difficult position to be in and so annoying. I can't stop seeing Dan as a super cringy dude now. I thought he was acting ridiculous and seemed more like a 13-year-old boy as opposed to someone who was supposed to be turning 30 in a couple of months. I'm pretty sure I can't go on with a relationship at this point. I don't think this is an overreaction on my part if I were to break up with him. Is it within reason to end a relationship after this event? Everything was going fine before this happened, but now I just feel gross. The dinner happened last night and I haven't returned any of his texts today. I know ghosting is wrong, but I don't want to look at him or speak to him. The thought of him just kind of disgusts me at this point. I've never felt like someone's show poodle before. I don't know if I'll feel differently in a week or if I'm unjustified in my anger. And we do have an update, but I don't think she's unjustified at all. They're only 3 months into this relationship.
Like you said, it's like you were being showed off like a poodle or something. Like,
absolutely
weird. Part of it's understandable and like, I don't know, like, I just think you're really cool. And I'm like, I'm excited for my friends to like know how cool you are. But that didn't feel like that's what that was. It was more like my friends didn't believe girls can be smart and cool. So I was excited to show you off to them, my new possession.
Exactly. It's really just not putting himself in her shoes at all. And then accusing her of being rude and unjust in the situation when she's literally being like attacked this whole night.
And the implication was that he was like, it's fine if you were annoyed, but you audibly sighed. So you shouldn't have made it so obvious that you were annoyed, is really what he was saying.
Yeah, I think 3 months, you're still learning about each other. Like you don't know each other that well at all in 3 months in. This is definitely something that you've learned. How someone interacts with their friends is huge. So I think that's totally fine for you to be like, not for me, thanks, and move on.
Yeah, 100%.
But we do have an update. So after the post, I decided it would be best to end things through a phone call. I mentioned ghosting, but it's probably best that he knows how and why he effed up. I waited until Saturday to reach out to him and told him that we needed to talk. I'm paraphrasing here, but this is basically what the convo went like. I don't think I've ever felt so unwelcome in a group before. It felt like a crappy interview. All they did was test my knowledge. No one tried to get to know me, and when actual conversation was going on, I was ignored or interrupted if I tried to talk.
I don't feel like it was anything like that.
Okay, so how often do you guys sit around just asking questions like, quick, what is the SQL inquiry if you want to delete 2 rows from 2 different tables?
I don't know.
No, really, do you quiz your friends randomly like that at work or out and about?
No, not really.
And why not? Why don't you just ask lightning round quizzes like that? Because it's not what normal people do?
I don't know. They were just having fun joking around.
Well, it wasn't fun for me. I have male and female friends in all sorts of professions. I've never cornered any of them to test their knowledge. I trust that they know what they're doing. I ask them about work, what they're doing, normal questions. I'm not going to print out a CPA exam and quiz my accountant friend. Don't you think that would be a little effed up? Well, we talked a little bit more about that night, and I gave him more specific examples of what he and his friends did, and he never really had any good answers. It was a lot of, I don't know, and single word answers. I told him I created a Reddit post and I would send it to him. He was a little pissed off that I did that, felt like I had no right to do so. At the end of the conversation, he asked if we were done. I told him, yeah, that I can't see a future with him. And then I saw a different side of him that night, and I don't want to be someone's prize poodle on display for the world to see. He didn't really say anything after that and just hung up the phone. I sent him the URL for my first post, and he texted me throughout the weekend, but I didn't respond. He read the post that I sent him and wasn't happy with it and said that he couldn't believe so many people were on my side and were hating on him. He sent a few more angry texts after that, like he couldn't believe that we were breaking up over something so stupid. He did send a few rounds of I'm sorries and let's try to work through this, but when I didn't respond, he just went back to angry texting me.
Dude, what's crazy to me is that there's so clearly a way that he could have gone about this to where the relationship would have been fine.
Yeah, like backing her up or something.
Yeah, like literally just maybe admitting like just any amount of like, yeah, you know what? That's on me. You've kind of opened my eyes to the fact that what I thought was maybe like cool, like fun, jokey time ribbing, like actually was just making you like really annoyed and kind of almost dehumanized you to my friends.
Like listening to how she feels, considering that instead of just accusing her of wrongdoing from just feeling how she feels. I know it would be very, very easy to say that. And you know what else would be super easy? Going to your favorite podcast app, whether that's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you choose, and searching OK Storytime. Because you know what you're going to find there, Dakota?
2,000 episodes of our podcast just waiting to be listened to.
Just waiting. Come on over. But there is a little bit more into the story. Let's see how it turns out. Also, I did find his friend who buried his head in his phone that night and sent him the Reddit link and asked that if it sounded like what happened. Dan's friend said that he knew what his friends were doing were wrong and felt bad for me. He apologized for not stepping in and assumed that Dan would eventually speak up for me on my behalf. He also apologized for joining them in the beginning and wished me luck in my career. Well, good. At least there's one good guy in that group. But what a shame for the rest. But that's the end of that story.
My girlfriend discovered I took one for the team. She got upset.
Are we playing for the other team now? Is that what we're talking about?
I want to figure out what team we're talking about. About 2 years ago, I was at a party with a friend of mine, Josh. Me and Josh were just vibing to the music and chilling when he suddenly spots two girls. The one he was interested in was this pretty blonde, while the other was her quote-unquote heavier friend. That's not to say her friend was unattractive, but just a little noticeably bigger than what would be considered average body weight. Anyway, Josh turned to me and urged me to be his wingman by taking one for the team and distracting her friend while he chatted with the blonde. After a little back and forth, I decided to just do it to be a good friend. By the way, this comes from user MasterHalf8275. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we made our way over and made our move, where I would go in first and start chatting with the friend while Josh began flirting with the girl he was interested in. Again, this friend I was talking to was by no means unattractive, just a bit heavier than what most guys, myself included at the time, would go for. I thought she was very sweet, even though I was just talking to her out of obligation. It didn't really matter anyway, because ultimately the girl Josh was into already had a boyfriend apparently, and had seemingly brushed him off, with him eventually patting me on the back to signify I didn't have to chat with her friend anymore. So I decided to politely end the conversation. However, not before she asked for my Instagram, which I decided to give her. I didn't really think much of it at the time, and I was certain I would never see her again. However, a couple days later, I ran into the same girl in my school's campus store. I didn't really recognize her at first, but she seemed to know me immediately. We decided to chat for a bit, and I was reminded of her name, Megan. Not her real name, by the way. Anyways, it was really just small talk until Megan suddenly seemed a little awkward. I asked her if everything was all right, and she replied that nothing was wrong, but she wanted to know if I wanted to go out with her sometime. This actually came as a shock to me, as it was the first time a girl had ever made the first move and asked me out. So, even though she wasn't really my type at the time, I said yes. And that was probably the best decision of my life.
Aww.
Me and Megan really hit it off, and before long, we were in a serious relationship. Any qualms I had about her weight were gone immediately after the first time we had the spicy sleep. as I actually found her body to be really soft and comforting. Good for you, OP. I had never felt so relaxed cuddling with someone before I met her.
Aw.
We've been dating for 2 years now, and I absolutely love her. She's my everything, and I have even been thinking of proposing as soon as we're both done with school. Everything was perfect until last month. Last month, we hosted a small get-together just for a few friends who are also in relationships, like a couple's game night sort of thing. It was here where Josh, who has been my good friend for years now, was pretty wasted and made a joke about how if he had never forced me to take one for the team back then, I would have never found the love of my life. The joke didn't really register to me as anything negative, and I was also wasted, so I just laughed it off. Megan was cuddled up next to me on the couch, though, and asked what Josh meant by that. I told her nothing, but Josh, being the wasted idiot that he was, elaborated and told her the story about how we met through my perspective at the time. Megan just said, "Oh," and didn't really react. So I figured she had just brushed it off. Oh, no. No. That was the wrong assumption.
Poor Megan.
You needed to damage control that immediately. However, the rest of the night, she seemed kind of distant and even a little sad. Finally, once everyone had left, she let it all out and started crying.
Aww.
She was essentially in shock because this whole time, she thought I approached her then because I was interested in her, and learning it was because I was forced to seemed to bring back old insecurities within her.
Aww.
It doesn't help that she's actually gained weight since back then, even though I don't really have any problem with that and have told her that multiple times. I immediately gave her the full story about how I fell for her right after that, and I have loved and adored her ever since. She seemed reassured, and we even cuddled the whole night after that. Since that night, though, she's been acting differently. It's like she's lost her confidence around me. She only wears large, baggy clothing, even though she used to never do that before. She refuses to change with me in the room and hardly eats in front of me.
Oh my gosh. This girl. I feel so bad.
Brother, you need to do more damage control.
You gotta do a lot. She's hurt, man.
You need to get, unbelievably vulnerable with her if you want this to go back to normal.
Yeah. This all could have been better with just a different choice of words. Using the word forced, I forced him to talk to her, not a good choice. Not a good choice. It could have just been yeah, he was helping me out and talk to her friend. OP was oh, you're gonna make me talk to this overweight person, which wasn't even true about her, first of all. And then also not a bad thing and not even what he was thinking. So
damage control, buddy, damage control. Before, I used to playfully tickle her stomach sometimes and she'd always smile and play along. Now she seems insecure when I so much as accidentally graze it. She also refuses to have spicy sleep without a shirt on. So far, I sat her down multiple times and explained that her body is incredibly attractive to me and there's no one more beautiful in my eyes than her, but it's like she doesn't believe me. Lately, I've been thinking about offering her to come to the gym with me, but I'm scared she may be more insecure at that suggestion. Yeah, that's the wrong kind of damage control. How do I get her to believe that I love her no matter what she looks like? That I truly adore her in all aspects? I just want her to be confident in herself again. And there's an update. I don't know what I would say other than I know what I would do and I would just try to be funny, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation actually now that I think about it because I was dating somebody and they became convinced I was no longer attracted to them because we had a pregnancy scare.
Oh, okay.
And I was super freaked out about doing anything unprotected at all. But she said that people don't have that much anxiety and that it was just a cover for me not liking her. And I was like, what?
Not true.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know because I broke it down. I gave her the root of the issue.
Yeah, I feel I have to try to explain the situation again. Because again, that choice of words, not great. Saying that he was forced to talk to her and that he was just taking one for the team as if she was so unapproachable and ugly, try to explain that again and be hey, no, I always thought you were beautiful. It was never a thing. It just happened that way. I just wouldn't have, maybe not saying that you wouldn't have talked to her if that didn't happen.
No, I think you should. I think you should say that because it's honest. It's real. Just because that's how it happened doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad. It's clearly now he's in love with you and wants to be with you. He didn't then because he just didn't know.
Yeah, he just didn't know how wonderful of a person she was.
Yeah, so in a way, it's almost like a good thing. But it's hard. Hard to convince a partner that you believe something that you believe when they think you don't. Update. First off, I just want to express how grateful I am to everyone who commented. I wasn't expecting to get this many comments, and even though I really didn't reply to many, I certainly read the majority of them. It's only been a day since I made my post, so I don't really have any real updates, but I just wanted to clarify a couple things. A lot of comments seem to have the idea that me and my friends have secretly been making fun of Megan behind her back for years, and I can assure that is not the case at all. I love Megan, and I would never intentionally make a hurtful joke at her expense, nor would I let any of my friends. At the time, I believed the joke Josh made to be at my expense, not Megan's. Sort of like making fun of me for not opening my horizons. I see now how hurtful it came across, but trust me, I would not have laughed it off had I known that back then. It was also essentially the first time I had really even thought about the circumstances surrounding our first meeting in a long time. There's also been a lot of misconceptions about the story I told in my post versus how Josh and I told it to Megan on that night. First, I'd like to reiterate again that both me and him were pretty wasted and that even Megan was tipsy at that time. Josh basically told her that I was helping him out by talking to her that night we met, which I know is still an awful way of putting it, believe me. I know. I later elaborated and said I was just playing wingman at first because I didn't see how amazing she truly was until our first date. Keep in mind, however, that I was still wasted during this elaboration. I mean,
we gotta have more conversations where we're sober about this.
Yeah. In hindsight, when first typing this post, I should not have used the words pretty or heavier, but I wasn't really putting too much thought into it as I knew it was a long story. But trust me when I say I did not put it that way to Megan. I know either way I screwed up by telling her about it, but as I said in a previous comment, I kind of panicked out of fear that she may take it in a worse manner. A lot of you seem to think I am some sort of predatory D-bag who objectifies my own girlfriend, and I want to cut that interpretation off immediately. I love this woman. I truly believe I want to spend the rest of my life with her. I want her to feel comfortable and sexy around me. The only reason I talked so much about how beautiful I find her body is because her body and how I view it is what seems to be the source of her insecurities right now. I genuinely find it appalling that some people in the comments have this idea that think I'm doing a service or something because I'm with a bigger girl. I love her truly and wholeheartedly. And by the way, you can truly and wholeheartedly listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search Storytime. Just do that.
So easy.
And you can listen to over 2,000 episodes.
So many.
Wow. But we have just a little bit more story here.
I'm glad that he's elaborating a bit more. I feel like you were saying earlier, it's hard to convince someone that you believe something when they are convinced that you don't. Because with this kind of thing, it's like you just have to take my word for it. If you say that you're attracted to someone, but they believe that you don't, they're just going to believe that you're lying, you know?
Anyways, those are just some clarifications I wanted to make clear based on the comments I've been seeing. Again, I want to thank everyone who responded with practical, genuine advice. As many of you stated, this is something I have to work on slowly over time. So I don't think I'll be updating this anytime soon. However, I am considering bringing up the possibility of seeing a couples counselor or therapist, as I believe she needs to stop ignoring the issue and be fully open about it. I'm just scared that she may have an anxiety attack or something if I do, because as I mentioned in some comments, she's very anxious when it comes to addressing relationship issues. I might update if we do end up doing that though. Thank you, everyone. And that is the end of that story. If she really can't believe that you care about her, let's figure out couples counseling.
If she has had insecurities about this before and she's retreating to these things of like wearing baggy clothes and like not eating that much in front of you, it's like those are some actions that are like attached to some deeply rooted insecurities and traumas or something. So just therapy in general would be great for sure.
Indeed. But that is the end of that story.
My boyfriend lied to me about his past. I can't trust him anymore.
Hey, liar, liar, pants on fire.
I, 25 female, have been dating my boyfriend Ethan, 28 male, for almost a year now. Prior to him confiding in me this hideous secret, our relationship was lovely. We talked about what bothered us if something ever came up. We spent time together and enjoyed each other's company, and we tended to support each other the best we could. I've been happy, really happy, and the peace in my life has helped me grow as a person. By the way, this comes from Fairy0001. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So, background. We met through an, at the time, mutual friend, Tammy, 24 female. Tammy has been married for years to Ethan's buddy, but her marriage is not happy. She has engaged in affairs that her husband miraculously was able to forgive and forget. After a few years of turbulent and drama-filled friendship with Tammy, I decided that she was too much. I didn't want someone like her in my life, so I ended the friendship.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Ever since, Tammy has been on a smear campaign. Because I no longer like her or agree with her, I'm a bigot. I'm discriminatory. I'm all the awful things in the world, etc. Basically, the woman hates me and will talk crap about me at any turn. This became a problem when Ethan and I got together because she's always held a fascination with him. So I told him that eventually I'd like it if he stopped talking to her. Because Ethan has told me several times that he doesn't like Tammy, I didn't think it to be an issue and let him do it at his own pace. I only needed to know one thing: if they had a history together, to potentially explain Tammy's obsession with him. Ethan said no, nothing. And I believed him. Well, he lied.
Dang it.
Man. And 2 years ago, after one of Tammy's affairs, while Tammy was married and he was single, she approached him while he was wasted and they did things. Specifically, oral spicy sleep.
They did things, specifically of the mouth.
Ethan clearly regrets this and struggles with the moral failing, so I'm trying not to be hard on him, but I'm devastated. He lied to me, he hid this from me, and all because he knew and has admitted that he thought I would either leave him or never want to touch him again. I'm trying to forgive him and move past it, but when I told him definitively that he could never be around Tammy again, he fought me on it. He was terrified that Tammy would tell their mutual friends out of a retaliation, ruining his reputation. He said that I seemed like I couldn't trust him, and he blamed me, saying that he stood to lose a lot by cutting her out, and that if he did, I wasn't allowed to F him over. He made me swear to him that I wouldn't F him over. Honestly, I'm angry. I'm hurt. He prioritized his pride and reputation over our relationship and my broken trust. Recently, I've been so busy that I haven't seen him much, and he is now claiming that I'm not putting effort in, and it's something that he would dump me over. I almost told him to do it. I was so stunned that he came after me like that. I don't really know how to forgive him, and if anyone has any advice, this is my first long-term relationship, and it was so lovely. I don't want it ruined because of her. I would appreciate it. Thank you. And there is an edit, but I want to hear your comments first. What's your advice for this woman?
I think the biggest deal here isn't even that it was like he lied about that girl. It's that his reasoning for why he lied was, well, I lied to you because I was afraid if I told you the truth that you would leave me or you wouldn't want anything to do with me. So I just was never going to tell you. And like, that's just a selfish lie. So he's willing to lie to keep the relationship afloat. You should just leave. Unless he can admit that that's what he did. Like, if he doesn't have the emotional maturity to be like, yeah, I was lying because I'm afraid that I'll lose you, but that isn't a good reason to lie. You have to be honest and like, yeah, sometimes you lose people because of reality, but like, you can't trust a liar.
Right. And then at the same time, it's like, okay, if you were so scared of losing her, then like, why are you threatening to leave because she is now uncomfortable with the situation that you tried to hide from her? You know, like, you were scared of her leaving, but now you're doing that.
Doesn't pass the logic test. And so he's probably just saying that because he's like, oh, I just love you so much. Oh, I care about you so much. I just couldn't tell you because I was so scared.
I was so scared. Oh, poor me for being in this situation, even though you put yourself there. But there is an edit. You are all entirely right. And I knew it. I think I just didn't want to admit it. It's over. It's been over, and I'm going to have to tell him that. Thank you all for your kind words and support. I needed to hear it. And we do have an update as well.
Let's go.
So, June 13th, I break up with Ethan on a phone call.
Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah. I state the initial lie, plus his attempts at making me look like the bad guy and shove the blame on me when I found out. That showed me that he would always put himself and his image before me. Ethan was completely calm on the phone and treated our breakup like an exit interview. So he said, okay, so what are the next steps, etc.
Yeah, am I going to collect my pension? What's going on?
The next steps are me walking out the door.
Do I get my hoodie back or like...
Less than an hour later, he calls me, sobbing, begging for me to come back. I refuse. I also told him that if I catch him telling our mutual friends any lies about our breakup, for example, shoving the blame onto me, I will tell them the truth. He cries and continues to beg for me back. Eventually, I hang up on him. Now, June 14th.
The next day.
Ethan calls again and sobs hysterically. He continues to beg for me to come back, which, again, I refuse. I ask several times, are you thinking of what I want or what you want? And he always answers, I'm thinking of you. To which I respond, then respect my decision. I can't be with you. This goes on for an hour. Eventually, I tell him to mail me my stuff and leave me alone unless I reach out to him. He agrees. Later that night, though, Ethan texts me asking if he can just drive down and leave my belongings on my porch. I agree, but restate that I don't want to see him. I give him a date and time to show up, June 18th, around 5, and that he agrees to. Now, June 16th, I start a new job. I get off my first shift at around 8:30 and see a missed call from my roommate. When I call her back, she tells me that Ethan showed up. He only had a couple of my things that he owes me, and he was a blubbering mess. He came into the living room and cried to my roommate about how much he loved me and needed me. My roommate didn't know what to do. She just kept telling him that I'm not there, which I wasn't. I was at work.
This guy, maybe his heart's broken, but it's like, I feel like he's trying to like gain a character witness by like being so upset to the roommate.
Yeah, right?
But instead, she's just going like, hey, you know I'm not your ex-girlfriend, right?
She's not here. I don't know what to tell you.
She's like, not here, go away.
So desperate. Ethan then uses the bathroom for a long time, which we think he was listening for me on the other side of the wall, as my bedroom shared one with the bathroom. Ethan then gave my roommate cards with handwritten notes for myself and each of my friends. The notes were appalling. Cringy, flowery nonsense about how he'll wait for me forever and I'm the only one for him. I call him after I learn this and blow up, stating he knew that I didn't want to see him and I have had enough of him violating my boundaries. I again tell him to show up June 18th and make it clear that I will not be at the house. Just drop off the stuff and leave. Ethan agrees.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Is that he's still being selfish by writing that, by being like, yes, and also I'm so deeply in love with you that you're the only one for me in my whole life. Like he's making this like really this main character like tragedy story for him to live in, which is not real. If it was real, you would have been like, yeah, I did hook up with that girl. Like you wouldn't have lied to her.
You would have gone about it in like a good, healthy, honest way. But here we are. None of that. Just like the definition of love bombing right now.
You don't lie to the people that you claim to have these kind of feelings for.
Exactly. So now, June 18th rolls around. He drops off some, not all of my stuff, plus a ridiculously expensive glass ornament with another cringe note attached. I'm disgusted. Ethan texts asking if I got my gift, and again, I tell him that I do not want to hear from him. I draw boundaries again, and he agrees to them. Around this time, I learned from a mutual friend that Ethan is so miserable and broken that he enters therapy. Well, that's good, but I feel like he will lie in therapy.
Probably, yeah. You can't lie to your therapist because then you're not getting work done that's based on reality.
He's gonna like go to therapy to try to learn how to manipulate even better. July is quiet, thank God. I start to think that Ethan is respecting me in my space. I give up on any of my remaining items that I know are Ethan's because I don't want them anymore. I want peace and quiet. August 27th now. I end my first week of student teaching and come home to find a box on my porch from Ethan. I am instantly in a bad mood. I open the box to find old shoes that I'm not sure were mine, an open box of tampons, yes, tampons, hair scrunchies that he bought for me, and a sticker sheet from Pit Viper. I dearly wish I was kidding.
What a catch.
Again, there's a long note attached about how much he misses me, hopes I'm doing well, and how he'll wait forever. I'm pissed off. I take time to cool down and eventually text him stating that I received his gift, but am frustrated with his repeated boundary violations. I make it clear that I'm never coming back and want nothing to do with him. and Ethan explodes.
Oh no, what a mess.
He sends a long text back about how I don't deserve him because I'm unforgiving. His therapist thinks I'm a monster and I'll never get another great guy like him. It reads like a teenager lashing out at their first ex. It was so cringeworthy and sad. This time, for the first time in the breakup, I drop myself down to Ethan's level and say that I hope he continues healing and that my new boyfriend is better than him in bed, which is true, lol.
Get absolutely slam dunked.
I block his number and go on with my life. By the way, you can go on with your life listening to us with more full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
That's right.
Don't go another second without us in your ears. There is a little bit more to the story, but I want to hear your final thoughts before we go on.
Like, sure, that was pretty satisfying getting the slam dunk. You tried your best not to slam dunk him, but he just kept on asking for it, so you went ahead and gave it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, block, move on.
I still get periodic unwanted updates from mutual friends about how Ethan still isn't back to normal. Many are mad at me for breaking him.
How is that in any way your responsibility?
Literally, it's not at all.
How dare you break up with this guy? How dare you?
I'm just glad to be free of that nightmare. You never know someone until they show you, and I'm so glad that I ran. If I had stayed and married him like he wanted, he would have eventually mistreated me, and I know it. Thanks, Reddit, for helping me make up my mind. And that's the end of that story.
Yes.
Go you, OP. Maybe get some better friends, honestly.
Yeah, and whoever's updating you on Ethan, just be like, stop.
She did tell Ethan, hey, if you keep lying to them, then, I'm gonna expose you. And it seems like he's lying to them, so go off, OP.
My brother's fiance has cut off our family, but she never said anything in person.
Me not saying anything.
My younger brother and I were super close growing up, but we've drifted over the years. He's always been outgoing and well-liked, though also stubborn and firm in his beliefs. He started dating his now fiance, Ursula, in 2016 when they were 15 and 16. They are now engaged and have a 2-year-old son, and they live at the bottom of the sea. By the way, this comes from Time Mouse, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So Ursula has always been polite but distant with our family. During the vid, she moved into my parents' home, and shortly after, became pregnant. They didn't pay rent while living there and used 2 of my parents' cars. When their baby was 6 months old, they moved in with her family, where they now help care for her younger siblings and support the household. After they moved, Ursula claimed my mom was verbally and emotionally harmful. My mom is blunt and not the most tactful, but she's not someone who goes out of her way to be cruel. Some of Ursula's examples include my mom saying the baby looked like my brother, which she took it as an insult, or suggesting Ursula consider staying home with the baby while my brother provided financially. My mom later followed up just asking what her long-term plans were, not to judge, but just to stay informed. Ursula took that as criticism too. Before the baby's first birthday, Ursula confronted my mom, explaining how hurt she felt. My mom apologized and tried to clarify, but Ursula told others the apology was insincere and that my mom was gaslighting her by framing Ursula as the problem. Then, for the baby's first birthday, Ursula didn't invite our parents or tell anyone in our family when or where it was until the day of, when it rained and they asked if they could have it at my parents' house. My parents agreed, pulled it together last minute, and hosted all of Ursula's extended family, while ours was mostly excluded. For the following year, they skipped every family holiday and get together, always citing illnesses or emergencies. They would sometimes visit my parents' home only when they knew no one else would be there. My husband and I have 2 kids close in age to my nephew. We planned a wedding in December of 2024 after 4 years of marriage. In the lead up, I tried reaching out to my brother to reconnect, especially for the holidays and his son's 2nd birthday. He brushed me off and said I should make plans with Ursula. The thing is, she had messaged me and my mom a couple of months before, and we both responded with possible dates. She deleted our replies and told our brother we never answered. When I showed my brother the proof, he seemed surprised and he said he talked to her. Right before our rehearsal dinner, she sent me a long message claiming she hadn't gotten our text and rehearsing all the old accusations against my mom. I told her I was busy with the wedding and we would talk later. She didn't show up to the rehearsal dinner, and the next day she came to the bridal suite only to get her hair done with my brother supervising. Barely said anything and didn't stay to get ready with us. And then they were late to the ceremony. Their son wore red Crocs and a dirty shirt. They left the reception early and later accused me and my husband of ignoring her and claimed the whole family gave her the cold shoulder at the wedding of 100+ people. 2 days later, they had a birthday party for their son, but didn't invite any of our family. Ursula sent a copy-paste version of her message to my older sister, again listing all the past accusations. My sister responded calmly and factually, disproving many of her claims, including that my mom and Ursula had hugged and chat at the reception. Every time my sister made a valid point, Ursula deflected, changed the topic, and eventually just blocked her. The next day, she sent a similar message to me on Christmas. I responded with kindness, saying we loved her and wanted to reconnect. I asked that we stop excluding my parents. She doubled down, and she said she's never been accepted by her family and said she regretted ever entering our lives. I reminded her that she and my mom had already talked things over a year ago and haven't interacted since. But she kept saying my mom wasn't sincere. She then sent a final long message to my mom, accusing her of spreading lies and rumors. For context, my mom has made no effort to talk about or even mention Ursula since their last conversation. After that, Ursula blocked all of us on social media, left our family group chat, and had my brother leave it too. I've created new chats and tried texting my brother. He doesn't respond. We haven't seen them since the wedding. Okay, pause.
Talk to me.
At what point do you just like give up? Because I feel like there's like this pendulum effect of like sons always listening to the mom and just giving in to the mom whenever they want. And then you got the other side of that is like they just listen to the wife and do whatever the wife wants. And you need to stay in the middle. Be honed down by gravity and grounded. You stay there. But I feel like I haven't really seen it on the wife's side where the wife calls all the shots.
Really? I've seen,
Maybe
I
not
can't
in a
remember
while.
one off the top, like a specific one off the top of my head, but I feel like we've definitely seen one where the wife is just like running it and it's like, nope, this is what we're doing and everything runs through me and there's no, what I say goes. What I say is law.
Yeah. What is she getting? What is she gaining?
She gets to say that everyone is wronging her and do things her way and isolate brother from the family.
That's what, okay. I was like, that's the word I was looking for. Isolate.
Isolate.
My family visits every other month, and I always try to reach out when we're in town. Nothing. No response. No effort. I want to understand what's going on and how to move forward. I love my brother and want to be a part of my nephew's life. I don't hate Ursula, and I've never been unkind to her, but everything is always twisted into an attack, and I feel stuck, and I'm at a loss. Also worth noting, all of Ursula's complaints and confrontations happen only through long text messages. She's never once brought this up in person. In real life, she's always quiet and reserved. So quick backstory. I've mentioned my sister before, the one who got blocked after trying to help sort out some family drama. Let's call her Beth. She ended up having a conversation with my brother, Joseph, and Ursula, another family member involved in all of this. Beth didn't know Ursula was going to be there, so she waited until we walked into the room. When she did, Beth greeted her with a simple hi, and Ursula immediately snapped back with, I don't want to talk to you, and you shouldn't be here.
Okay.
Beth pushed back, saying she had every right to be here since she was given a key. Then Ursula threw out 2 accusations, one from 8 years ago.
Oh.
Yes, 8 years ago, and another that has already been proven false. Here's the wild part. Both Joseph and Ursula know second accusation is complete BS. It has been debunked. And Beth had nothing to do with it. But Ursula still tried to spin it as if somehow it would make sense that the lie came from Beth, even though it has been fully cleared up. Total mental gymnastics. The convo obviously went nowhere and Beth left. A few hours later, Ursula started messaging Beth, saying she wasn't being genuine and didn't apologize. Beth didn't engage, especially since she was the one who only showed up to try and clear the air and move forward. But Ursula kept blowing up her phone, demanding an apology over and over again. Later that night, Joseph talked to our other brother, let's call him Brian, and told him that both he and Ursula felt cornered by Beth showing up unannounced. During their convo, it became clear that Joseph was seriously exaggerating what went down. He claimed Ursula was attacked and belittled, and also said he explained to Beth why she needed to apologize. Except he didn't. Brian asked more questions and realized Joseph never actually told Beth why she was supposedly in the wrong and just gave a vague recap of past events.
Perfect. That'll do it. That's all we need.
That's all we need. And
Don't explain.
Don't explain. And we won't explain why it's the end of this story. But you can follow more stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime. And where do you go, John?
Spotify, Apple, iHeart, or your favorite podcast app.
And there will be a recollections of other past events or stories for you to hear. So now all of this is being relayed back to Beth so she can decide what to do next. Ursula's still expecting an apology for how she felt treated back in December. And look, I get it that people are allowed to feel that way they feel, but if there's going to be an apology, it should come from a place of honesty and personal reflection, not guilt tripping or emotional manipulation, just to glue the family back together. And we got one comment here. Opie clarifies the details on her sister Beth having a key. For clarity, the whole conversation between Beth, Joseph, and Ursula happened at our aunt's LLC. Beth has been working as an assistant doing what our aunt doesn't have time for. Just has started working there to sort out clerical side of things. Let it go. Let your brother know you're there if he chooses to reach out, and then don't stop. Don't contact them. Don't try to mediate or intervene. Your brother is a grown man, and he's choosing to support his partner. So let him go until he grows up and reaches out. Opie says, I came to Reddit because the siblings are split on how to handle this. I would like to go to the route of the holiday and more important messages, while Beth would like to cut them off entirely, especially after Ursula trying to force an apology from her. Joseph and Brian were in regular contact, as Brian isn't trying to ruffle any feathers to stay close enough to our nephew. We all just wanted a little insight to see how much longer we'd have to endure the distance. And yeah, Opie doesn't reply to anything else. That's the end of that story.
Guys, call King Triton. He will get the job done, and that is it.
That's it, yeah.
That's all I want to hear.